talk about a little bit about Chinese medicine. So in other words, so why Chinese medicine and how Chinese medicine? In other words, why we need to use Chinese medicine? Why Chinese medicine still survive after a few thousand years? Simply, because of many other things come and goes in the history, and why Chinese medicine still survive. So, and in fact, still play a major or big role in terms of health, sort of system in China and in the world, and now gradually get into the West. So we're only beginning in the West. So perhaps we are people, many Chinese doctors here, we're the pioneer here, but we have to work harder. So now, why Chinese medicine? Now, obviously, if you're simple to say, because it works, simple. If it doesn't work, people will abandon it, simply, because it works. So, and from personally, from my patients, from many other study, research, like research now even in Oxford University, now in the hospital, in Royal Free, been treating your patients, and many other people we're doing. So it works. So now the problem is, we don't know how to explain it works. This is a problem for Chinese medicine. Because for our many people in the name, you want something more sort of black and white. People have been trained this way, black and white, very logical, very so-called evidence-based medicine to explain how things work. So if you say, for example, in Western medicine, if you have some infection, antibiotics. If someone have a pain, painkillers. If someone have difficult breathing, like asthma attack, give bronchial dilator. Or someone have a skin rash, give some steroid cream to control or to stop allergy, which is perfectly logical and perfectly sound in the Western medicine. But we do understand, if someone have an asthma like this condition, if you use the bronchial dilator, do they really solve the problem? The answer is no, because you have to use it again and again. And the painkillers, same. If someone have a real pain, so you have to use the painkillers again and again. So that's why, as I say, because you are the expert, the opiate medicine now in the world has caused so much trouble, both according to report of American, sort of medical association or British medical association. There are more people died of taking the painkillers, opiates painkillers, than actually drugs. Like cocaine, heroin altogether. So it's more deaths. So, but why this wonderful, the scientific proved medicine, and then doesn't work in long term? And also why some people now come for acupuncture, put a few needles in somewhere, and then the pain is gone, or maybe reduced, and if you do few more times, and they say, oh, my back pain, my arm pain, getting better. Why? I don't know, just get better. Which is fair enough, because in fact, in the world, if we look real scientific way, look at everything in the world, do we really know about the universe? Do we really know the human? Do we really know our life? The answer is no, we don't. Because we only know very tiny part of the world, universe. We only know tiny part of the human being, So therefore, that's come to, we call them the old way of Chinese medicine. So from ancient time up to now, all these many hundreds of thousands of years of people, maybe the enlightened, or maybe they accumulated knowledge, so they have this kind of unique wisdom. So that's why I use the word wisdom, to understand of human body, to understand the body. So therefore, maybe we're not matched to scientific explanation yet, but there are many things we can, using those simple wisdom or the way to explain. Everybody know that, for example, we said everybody it's just like we said everybody live in this world. Now that people think about much more environment, because now we realize global warming damage our earth, cause lots of trouble. So we just realize now, But before, long time ago, Chinese people already realized, we said we are part of the universe. We are part of Earth. We are part of this whole environment. So therefore, we must keep our body in balance with universe or Earth. If we don't keep this balance, and then trouble will start. So that's one of the fundamental base of Chinese medicine, is because we think everything in the world has to be somewhere, somehow in balance. So in Chinese medicine, we simply call them yin and yang balance. So if you make more, doesn't matter words we use, with yin and yang, you can use a negative or positive, you can use one or two balance, doesn't matter. But the way we use them, just simply everything in the world has to be balanced. Because it's very balanced, that is why our universe or Earth can be as it is. Think about Earth. We are not too far away from sun. We are not too close to sun. If we're too close, we burn out. If we're too far away, we're frozen to death. Simple. So we're just right there. How come? And also our Earth has been tilted about 23, 24 degrees, circle the sun. And this is tilting, so make our Earth have 4 seasons. Imagine without 4 seasons, we'll have trouble. So therefore, this balance in Chinese we call it very much simple. We say everything just naturally. How come the natural balance? Chinese call them Dao or Tao. That's as it is. Just like the scientific explain, how come we have this universe? How come we have these particles? How come where this? If you would believe the black hole or the whatever the things in the universe, just as it is. You can't explain. You don't explain just that. So that's what we call the Tao. The Tao is the way of everything. So our universe has to be balanced. Our Earth has to be balanced. Oh, hello. Good to see you, James. Right. And our body, we mimic Earth, has to be balanced. So like our Earth, we have 4 seasons now, and in each season we have different months. And different months, we have a different day. The day have a night, and we have a day and a night. We have bright and dark. This is the same like the body. We have the same. Ancient Chinese people say, why, for example, why you have 2 eyes, not 3 eyes, not 1 eye? It's an interesting question. Sometimes you think about it. Yes, why? And the Chinese ancient people say, because we have 2 shining stars, one the sun, one the moon. So that mimic. We have 2 shining things. So that's ancient way of explaining. And of course, some people maybe say that's not. Maybe you just make that. But anyway, that's how Chinese ancient people think about. So it's like say, because the Earth, we have mountains, we have grass, we have a tree, and that's why we have a hair. We have a hair. So just like the grass and the tree in the universe. You have a mountains, also have a bones, everything like come up and down. So all this ancient we said is keep our body as synchronized, as balanced as Earth or as universe. If things are out of balance, what happens? You have a trouble. If there's overheating, overwarming in the universe or in the Earth, we have a lot of flood, water. So same again in the body. If you're overheating in the body, no problem. Many people come to me, have a nice sweat. So sweating itself is good for sometimes, for something. But nice sweat is wrong. Because at night time, it's supposed to be cooling. Because you're not moving. The temperature in the Earth is cooler. So it's supposed to be cooling your body. But instead, why are you sweating? That's what Chinese said. Because in Chinese we say, this is a water and fire in our body, or yin and yang, not balanced. So it's supposed to be nighttime, supposed to be cooling and the water dominant, but your water is weak, and then your fire floating. So we call floating fire. And in fact, those floating fire is serious case. Many serious illness, especially in the clinic. Cancer people have also nice sweat. TB patients AIDS patients, people have a chemotherapy, lots of nice work. It's all very serious condition. So therefore, if we know this condition, by things that, okay, although maybe all kind of blood tests or scan or even check the DNA, nothing wrong, but the body balance is out of balance. So therefore, that's the case. If we try to do something, rebalance this unbalanced thing, and then the body will getting better or heal itself. Because the body itself, like any other thing in our earth, the one thing, as long as they're alive, they have one function, it's called healing. The healing means they correct themselves. If anything's not right, they try to rebalance it. So, but sometimes, some people, because of various reasons, this rebalance or this unbalance in the system are slightly too much. The body can't balance themselves. So that is why Chinese doctor play a role now. And then we started using some acupuncture or some herbs, or sometimes even teach people to special diet, like just to say about the tea. I just explained to you. For example, this green tea which you're drinking is cooling. So therefore, if you're really hot, cooling tea will be nice to cool you down. But you say, oh, my stomach's cold, I got a diarrhea, I got a little comfortable. You need a warm up. So therefore, the black tea is for you. So the black tea is a warm up stomach, and that will help with digestion, and it will get rid of all this excessive water and damp, which is another term. So in short, the Chinese medicine, one of the most important philosophy or sort of metaphor is balance. If anything out of balance, we start trouble. If your body is out of balance, so there any trouble, it doesn't matter what is trouble. Whether it's serious, like heart attack or cancer, or to mild problem like a sore throat, if we can rebalance them, so the body will heal. So that is the base of one of the most important, the reason for Chinese medicine to help. And of course, this is not easy to say. If you ask me, oh, what is out of balance? I can't just say you are yin and yang out of balance. That's too vague. For Chinese doctor, we can't just use just simple words, yin and yang out of balance. That's too easy to say. Just like say, oh, you Western medicine, your immune system is weak. That's it. You get all these problems. That's not good enough. We need to find more details. So, which part of the yin, which part of the yang is out of balance, and how much the yin and yang out of balance? Is that a little bit out of balance, or very much out of balance, or extremely out of balance? So therefore, we can plan the treatment and plan all this, or tell people what is kind of sort of prognosis, the way how you do it. And the most important, because by doing that, we are treating the problem even before we started. Obviously, there are many doctors here, Western doctor, my daughter, and all those doctors, experts. So, in the Western medicine, yes, you are treating all the problem, very successful, very good. But if some people ask me, so tell me, what's the difference between Western medicine and Chinese medicine? I have to say, the Western medicine very much focus on, if I'm wrong, okay, you can criticize, very much focus on the problem. The study like cancer, study all these problems, focus on all these illness, find out what is the cause, how to treat them, this is the cause. This is what the Western medicine, there's nothing wrong with that, we need to focus on that. But Chinese medicine, if a real Chinese doctor, we don't focus on illness, we focus on the health. So we focus on how much lack of health you are. So if you say you are lack of qi, you lack of yin, we call it, doesn't matter, forget about term, just you lack something. And then if we find out what you lack, and then we make that balance better to replace or strengthen those what you lack. Like Mrs. King, for example, you lack the kidney yang qi, that's why bone feel cold. So I make kidney yang better, so your bone feel less cold. Because the kidney in Chinese medicine, one side is yin, one side is yang. The yang side is we call internal heating, just like in your house. If your heating is going down, you get a cold. So therefore, I make your internal heating more warmer, and then you're less cold. You're less cold, everything starts moving, and you're less aching of all the muscles and joints. Otherwise, you get a cold, your joints, your muscles become very painful easily. Particularly people get, over 50, 60, 70. That's why the old people have pain everywhere. Why? Because they're internally cold. People say, how about using electrical blanket? Yeah, that's helpful a little bit. But the real inside is that your body is lack of heating. So that is one side. So Western medicine, very good to research all these problems, even for example the coronavirus, to see what kind of virus, what strain of the virus, which part of the virus causes trouble. Great. But Chinese medicine, honestly, I tell people, no, we don't care what kind of virus. What we care is your body. If your body is strong, you wouldn't get a virus. And if you get a virus, you'll fight quickly. So, and then you get better quickly. So that's the difference between the Chinese medicine and the Western medicine. So we slightly different focus. Some people say, oh, how about all this medicine, you said it very easily, oh, yin and yang, balance, out balance, all this lack of heat, lack of whatever, or too much damp. Okay, how do you know that? Well, simple, because first of all, everybody have a different feeling. So I can just see what you're dressing, almost can judge what kind, or how you're walking. In fact, the real experienced Chinese doctor, sometimes in the ancient time, we don't even talk to patients. Just see patients and touch your house, we know what's the problem. Yeah, and so that's ancient Chinese medicine. Of course, now I don't practice like this here. Otherwise, I think you're mute, you're deaf, I can't talk. So I can't talk. So, but in ancient time, we don't. People say, oh, you don't need to talk. I know what is problem. But why? In fact, I do it. For example, I sit in the street cafe, see people walking, by. I can see the people's problem. And people say, what do you tell them? I say, no, I don't want to be nosy. I don't want to cause trouble. So I just be quiet. But again, we do have a knowledge to see, observe people from many things, from your top to bottom, from your hair, from your nails, from the tongue, from lips, many things. We can tell what's the problem. Like for example, the tongue. I said the tongue is very unique. This is very interesting. Here we have a different kind of people, different background, different racial background. Doesn't matter. But that whether you're English man, or Irish man, or black man, Chinese man, or whatever, Indian man, doesn't matter what kind of color of the skin, but your tongue same color, same thing. So never be black people black tongue, white people white tongue. Is it right? No. So therefore, it is the same. So but from that, we can tell many things. For example, if we say your tongue is too red, we say too much heat, fire. If your tongue is too white, too pale, we say it's cold. If your tongue is too fat, big, we say too much damp. Yeah, simple. If your tongue is cracked, we say your water is weak, your yin deficiency. So your tongue's cracked. So you go home, look at your tongue yourself, you see. And if your tongue have lots of purple dots, some people do, we say there's some kind of blockage. In fact, I see many people have cancer, find this. Okay? So therefore, all those things can give a clue for Chinese doctor. So that's why when we start university course with Margaret, with Middlesex, we try to teach our students. In fact, I'm very proud to say some of your staff now are our former students. So they're doing very well because they learn this. But of course, unfortunately, the university here, we're still facing, lots of sort of problems with the, people against Chinese medicine. So that's why I feel sort of sad because I've been working so long, so hard for this. Now we're back to square one. But never mind. So we have to try to work harder to promote this because I feel, just like I said, the Chinese medicine, like as Natalie said, is the wisdom. It is not simply, have some kind of medicine to remove a tumor or cancer. You can do it. Yeah, they are important, but it's more important to understand what is the problem. And if you do something about that, even before it started, or when it's very mild, the term, if you do something, and then that will make things better. So therefore, and also, by doing that, follow this kind of principle of the philosophy of Chinese medicine, not only for treatment of illness, in fact, make your life much better and happier. So that's what we call the party. That's what I try to explain in my book.